Hello and welcome to another special edition of the CTB Newsbrief. I'm back home in Madrid right now, but for today's episode we're heading to the northwest of England for the Alliance 2026 Demo Day. This Demo Day was hosted by farmer and contractor Olly Harrison. The event drew about 50 dealers and farmers for a hands-on look at how tyre technology and pressure impact the bottom line, specifically fuel consumption, traction, and overall efficiency. To get into the data, I spoke with Alliance's Gerrit Vinkers and Frederik Zandman. Gerrit kicked things off by walking us through their road test results. They took 2 Fendt tractors and a comparable Valtra, all rigged with telemetry, to compare 3 different Alliance tyre models. Now the goal was simple: to measure the difference between the minimum recommended pressure and maximum nominal pressure, whilst keeping the route, load and speed exactly the same.
As you can see, we promoted it as cost and comfort. Comfort at a cost, or cost with comfort. So we're actually talking about cost with comfort. So we have done a couple of testing yesterday and the day before, all about driving road transport. 3 different types of profile with the same tractor, no, not with the same tractor, 3 tractors with the same trailer with the same load. So basically the variation is in the tractor. We did that with a high speed and a low speed, and then measured over the time, trip 17 kilometers. How much fuel do I need for that trip, for that round trip? And there we had some interesting results. Sometimes you see that driving it with nominal pressure gives you a very low fuel consumption, but you're compromised on comfort. Other side, if you do very comfortable, you're burning more fuel. So how does this relate? Where does it come? And the result is you can make money with that. When you set it correctly, so tire pressure, knowing what you're doing, the weight, the work you do, in combination with setting into pressure right, saves you money. So that is what we're presenting on this by today.
As Gerrit just highlighted, the data speaks for itself. The data suggested a 13% fuel saving on standard radials, but hits 20% with VF technology. The manufacturer suggests that on a 300 kilometre shift, that's a potential saving of £79 every single day. Joining us next is Frederik Zandman, a field service engineer with Alliance. Frederik walked us through the technical side of that road trial before shifting gears to their second display. This time, the team wanted to see how the tyres performed under pressure in the dirt, specifically looking at traction levels and how well the tread handles self-cleaning.
Today here at Olly's farm we have 2 practical displays. One of them is the relation between comfort, fuel consumption and drivability whilst driving on the street this time, not in the field but on the street. It's a very important topic. With this display we are using 3 tyres, AgriStar II, the Alliance 372 and the newest, the 373 hybrid. One of the displays we're going to show is that we are going to pull in the field with an actual sledge to catch the amount of traction that the tyres can deliver. And in relation to that also the self-cleaning properties of the tyre. Like I said, the 373 is one of the tyres we have on display today, which is a hybrid pattern. It's more dense, and we were very curious to see how it would perform in the field, and the outcome is truly surprising. So we're all up to something today.
This pulling demonstration really put the AgriStar II, the AgriFlex Plus 372 and the 373 through their paces. The standout takeaway was the impact of correct pressure. By actively measuring slip during the runs, the team showed exactly how the right settings maximise power to the ground, cutting down on energy lost and boosting overall efficiency. But it wasn't all about the engineer's data, as we also spoke with the host of the day, Alliance Ambassador and farmer Olly Harrison. Olly gave us his take on the products and the trial results before explaining why this kind of fuel-saving technology is becoming a necessity for modern farming.
So we've got 3 300 horsepower tractors here. and the rear tyres are pretty much all the same. They're all 710 42 70s. This is the AgriStar II, so this is probably the most popular sort of your bread and butter tyre that a lot of tractors will be fitted with. I think they sold over 1 million of these. We're going to skip to the far end because that's more of a tyre that you're used to, and I'll show you what this is in a minute. These are the VFs. So that stands for very high flexation, so you can run these really low and also quite hard. With the fence having central tyre inflation, it's really easy to change that as well. So you can get a really big footprint, and they're really good. We've been doing some testing over the last few days on the road. We've been doing a lap of about 18 kilometres with a known weight on each tractor, and done some real sort of number crunching on the different tyre pressures versus the fuel economy. And we've actually found that in some places you can save up to 6 litres of fuel an hour by having the correct pressure on the road. And then if we move on to this one, this is the new hybrid. I think it's a 373. So this is basically, you've got your cleats, but you've also got this middle band. So on the road, that gives you a lot of comfort and a lot better noise, should we say, because you don't get a hum with it. Equally, if you look at both the normal cleats from Alliance, they do have that curve. So there is quite a middle band, but nowhere near as much as this one. This will be a lot harder wearing on the road because you've got these middle blocks that are taking a lot of the stick. They've also got really good self-cleaning properties, which we found out when we were playing with it on the tractor pulling sledge. But yeah, 3 tyres, all the same, but they're all different. So at the moment, fuel's about £1.20 a litre for tractor fuel, and if you're running on white diesel, it could be up to £2. What they found out over the last 2 days was you can save 6 litres of fuel an hour. Well, at £1.20, you know, that's a big saving. And if you were using white as well, you could be up to £10 to £12 an hour saving of fuel just by having the correct tyre pressure. Admittedly, we went quite extreme. We did blow them up really, really hard. And then there's a bit of a compromise then, because you lose a bit of driver comfort if you're too hard. But equally, that is when you get the most efficiency. In the field, it's even bigger scope. You know, wrong tyre pressure in the field, too much slip, you're wasting energy. You'll use a lot more. Comfort doesn't really come into it in the field then, but tyre pressure is very important, and that's why the fence are very good with the central tyre inflation. But equally, if you're going to use something that's not got it, you put a VF on, you can run them quite low in your field operation, and you're not going to damage them on the way home. But if you're doing a lot of transport work, higher pressure equals less fuel.
Beyond the field trials, Alliance also took the opportunity to debut the AgriNova. It's a new R1 bias tyre built for those light to medium duty tasks, where durability and comfort are the top priorities. We'll be taking a much deeper look at the AgriNova in the coming months, so definitely keep an eye out for that deep dive. For the full breakdown of this demo day, or to read the latest issue of the magazine, head on over to commercialtyrebusiness.com. You can also find more interviews and technical insights by checking out our Tyre Talk series on our official YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of the CTB Newsbrief. I'm Richard Wilson, and we'll see you very soon.